You think wine is just grapes, right? Think again. From chemicals being added to sugar in dry wine to ingredients that never appear on the label. Here are the 5 chemical wine brands you must avoid, and 2 that are actually safe. Number 5. Kendall Jackson. Kendall Jackson is often seen as a premium wine you can easily find in supermarkets. Its Vintners Reserve Chardonnay is also common on restaurant wine lists. Staff recommend it, and many people order it thinking it's a safe and reliable choice. But most consumers don't realize that the word reserve has no strict legal meaning in the US. It sounds high-end, but it's mostly a marketing term. Kendall Jackson is owned by Jackson Family Wines, a large company that produces wine on a big scale. And when production is that large, everything has to be carefully controlled. The well-known buttery taste isn't random. It's created on purpose, using specific fermentation methods, selected yeast, and chemical texture-enhancing agents that make the wine feel smoother and richer. Like many large producers, the company also uses modern filtration and stabilization techniques, so the wine stays consistent and lasts longer on store shelves. Instead of aging only in expensive oak barrels, they may use oak alternatives in tanks to create a similar flavor at lower cost. None of these practices are illegal, but it is chemical manipulation. Number 4. Woodbridge by Robert Mondavi. For many years, Robert Mondavi was known for quality and high standards in winemaking, but in 2004, the company was sold. Today, Woodbridge is owned by Constellation Brands, a large global corporation that owns more than 100 wine labels. Woodbridge is produced in large industrial facilities, where the focus is on keeping prices low and taste consistent. The wine is not aged in traditional oak barrels. Instead, chemical enzyme blends are added to create the wine's character. Instead of accepting what the harvest produced, the wine can be filtered to remove some alcohol and adjusted to a specific percentage. This allows the company to transform the wine from an agricultural product into an engineered one. Some residual sugar may also remain in the wine to soften harsh flavors and make it taste smoother. These practices are legal, but they are not listed on the label. A few years ago, Woodbridge was included in the well-known arsenic lawsuit involving several inexpensive wines. The case was dismissed, and the company stated that its wines met federal safety standards. However, the situation raised questions about how large-scale wines are sourced and monitored. Number 3. Franzia. Boxed wine isn't automatically bad. In fact, bag-in-box packaging can help keep wine fresh longer after opening by reducing contact with air. But when wine costs only a few dollars, it raises questions about how it's made. Franzia produces wine on a very large scale. The company buys huge amounts of grapes, often from high-yield vineyards in California's Central Valley, and blends wine from different regions to make sure it tastes the same every year. That level of consistency usually requires careful control. Large producers may legally use selected commercial yeast for predictable results. They may add acids like citric or tartaric acid to adjust taste, grape concentrate to increase sweetness or body, tannin powders for structure, and fining agents for clarity. Oak alternatives can also be used instead of traditional barrels. In the US, these ingredients and processes don't have to be listed on the label. Like Woodbridge, Franzia was named in a lawsuit after independent labs detected measurable arsenic levels. The case was dismissed. Producers stated the levels met federal safety standards. Still, the situation showed how little most consumers know about where their wine comes from. Number 2. Yellowtail. Yellowtail became one of the best-selling imported wines in the US and produces millions of bottles each year for supermarkets around the world. Many mass-market wines contain measurable residual sugar, even when labeled dry. Independent lab analyses have shown that certain Yellowtail wines contain more sugar than many consumers expect. Grape concentrate is used to make the wine taste sweeter or fuller, and wine labels are not required to list how much sugar is inside. There's also more that doesn't appear on the label. To maintain flavor consistency, large producers use selected commercial yeast and add acids to freshen and balance the flavor. Instead of aging the wine in traditional oak barrels, oak alternatives are used to create a similar taste at lower cost. Yellowtail has also been mentioned in independent testing reports examining heavy metals like arsenic. The company stated that its wines met safety standards and no bans were issued. Still, the reports raised questions about how large-scale wines are sourced and monitored. Number 1. Beringer. Beringer was founded in 1876, and its long history suggests tradition and quality. But its mass-market tiers like Founder's Estate are sold worldwide and owned by Treasury Wine Estates, a multinational corporation operating across continents. Producing wine at that scale changes how it's made. High-volume wine production may add tannins for structure, grape concentrate for body or sweetness, and acids to rebalance warm climate fruit. Oak alternatives can be used instead of barrel aging, and the wine may go through strong filtration to keep it clear and stable on store shelves. Independent consumer tests have detected trace pesticides, including glyphosate, the active ingredient in many herbicides like Roundup. The reported levels were within federal safety limits, but the findings raised concerns about large-scale farming methods. In 2018, Beringer recalled certain bottles because of possible glass fragments. It was a packaging issue, not a chemical problem. The main concern isn't illegality. It's that when millions of bottles must taste the same every year, natural differences between harvests are carefully controlled rather than celebrated. But before we continue to the two safe brands, please hit like and subscribe. Safe pick number 1, Ridge Vineyards. Ridge Vineyards was founded in 1885 and, unlike many historic wineries, has remained independent and never sold out to a large corporation. The winery is widely respected for its transparency. Its labels and technical sheets clearly list vineyard sources, harvest dates, fermentation details, and even the exact amount of sulfur used. Ridge focuses on estate-grown or carefully selected single vineyard grapes, aiming to express the character of each site instead of blending for mass consistency. The winemaking approach is minimal intervention, often using traditional fermentation methods and avoiding unnecessary manipulation. They do not use artificial color concentrates, added sugar, tannin powders, or flavor enhancers, and their vineyards are farmed with sustainable practices that prioritize soil health. Critics consistently praise Ridge for balance and authenticity. Wines like Montebello and Geyserville are known for their quality and ability to age for decades, something rarely seen in heavily engineered supermarket wines. Safe pick number 2, Spotswood Estate. Spotswood is a family-owned Napa Valley winery that has been farming organically since the 1980s. This isn't a recent marketing move. It's a long-term commitment to healthy soil and sustainable growing. Everything begins in the vineyard. All grapes are grown on the estate, hand-harvested, and carefully sorted, so only the best fruit is used. Because synthetic chemicals are avoided in the vineyard, there's less need for heavy correction later in the winery. Production is small and closely monitored at every step. The winemaking style focuses on minimal processing and traditional methods. The wines are aged in real French oak barrels rather than shortcuts that imitate oak flavor. They don't use artificial color concentrates, added sugar, or texture enhancers to adjust flavor. Sulfur is used in moderate amounts for preservation, not in excessive amounts to ensure a long shelf life. Critics regularly praise Spotswood for balance, elegance, and aging potential, with many vintages earning high scores. Comment below which wine brand is your favorite. Are you switching after watching this?